This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Our panel, to start with the second negator comes here and tells us a new case like pollution and corruption, which was not had in their first negative speech, but that one does not matter a lot. What I was trying to talk about, corruption isn't a big issue. What's a big issue now? It's oil and energy to save the security of the energy. What are we bringing on table? My dear panel, they don't rebut any case of ours and they leave all our case standing. What the first speaker all comes here to tell us, she comes here and tells us only the reduction in economic efficiency, reduction in global cooperation, and whatsoever circumstances. But I'm asking myself whether she had had our policy where we are saying that we are going to buy these companies as the government, and after, what are we going to do? We are going to compensate the people that we will have bought these companies from. And another thing, we are going to let those workers that have been working in the same companies to stay, however much we will have bought them from them, which will reduce the economy, so their point is down. My dear panel, they all go ahead and say that the global cooperation, I think if the governments are owning these petrol stations, every country receives its money, this money will again go in that country, and whereas global cooperation will still go on because there isn't any need. Take an example, what if now currently in Uganda, our parameter being the whole world, Total exports petrol from outside and brings it in Uganda. What does it mean? It means that after selling their fuel here in Uganda, they will get the profits back to their home country. But if we say that Uganda should own their petrol station as a government, it means that these profits will be staying inside. My dear panel, the second speaker comes here and asks that how many people, the owners of the petrol stations, will be able to give out their petrol stations. I'm asking myself, did they understand that we are setting a policy? This is a policy that we say that, that's why in my first speech we say that we are going to work with an organization to implement this policy. My dear panel, we also take this debate on the crash point. They come here and crash on the point of economic. What is the economic in our case, the economic in their process? For them, they are saying that let an individual remain with the petrol station. After all, they don't need to be owned by the government. And what will this impact? It means that they are scoring themselves in their case, because someone will be attaining money in and of himself, a person as a person. But what are we saying in our case? We are saying that let this petrol station belong to the government. After the government has sold the petrol and whatsoever circumstances, this money will go in the country. My dear panel, what do they come here and tell us? They come here and tell us that in our case, they agree with our case, whereby their second speaker comes here and says that they are agreeing in availability and affordable. That's why my first speaker came here and said that for us, we are providing everything affordable prices. And whereas their second speaker also comes here and clarifies it very clearly that they are on our side. My dear panel, we take this resolution on the different perspectives. A point in case we shall take this debate on a comparison analysis. My dear panel, allow me to compare to you the two worlds. We are in a world whereby for us we want to implicate, because we realize the countries that have already implicated this one, the things that they are receiving. Take an example, we gave an example of Algeria that has already brought in this policy. We are seeing how beneficial it is to the country. And that's why we are saying that let's implement it. And in their case, what are they saying? They just want us to remain in this economic crisis of one country exporting petrol from the other, or investors, just because it cannot be owned by themselves. And we shall find that there is that economic balance in their case vis-a-vis the economic status in ours, because we are saying that everyone will be earning. My dear panel, allow me to take the stakeholder analysis. Who are the stakeholders? We shall find that the stakeholders in this same motion, it is the government and the people we are buying on petrol stations and people working there. It is all costing everyone, because we have said in ourselves, we being the government, knowing that we have bought this petrol station, we are not dismissing anybody from working from the petrol station. My dear panel, let me rest my case.
I'll start from the point of the team of farmers telling us about the government buying the companies from these private owners, and then they say they're not going to dismiss anybody. You might not necessarily come and dismiss them, but the issue whether the terms you're going to work under, you as the government, are the same terms that the private owner has been working under. Those terms that you come in with may be able to dismiss somebody. You may not tell them like face to face, like get out, like leave this job, but the terms you come in with, you're not sure of what this private person has been doing, and then you come in with your own terms, and then before you know it, the people have been dismissed, and then at the end of the day, you're going to be changing something. So they come and they tell us about their work plan of 10 years. So, Pan, I would like to present you So they have a work plan of 10 years, yes, about nationalizing and everything, and yet we give them an alternative of privatization, whereby we are going to add more. We are going to put strict rules about. We are going to put strict rules so as to achieve the 4 A's, which are affordability, accessibility, and availability, and accessibility, which I believe they're also advocating for. So you realize that in our alternative, we are going to achieve this goal, the goal of the 4 A's faster compared to team affirmatives, whereby by the time these 10 years, by the time we are waiting for these 10 years to come to pass, a lot is going to happen. These people that denied that the money that they've not yet told us they are funder. First of all, they said they're going to buy, but where are they going to get the money from? My second speaker comes and tells you that they are going to end up taxing people a lot of money so they can get money to buy these private industries, private companies, because apparently they don't have any money and they do not give us a funder. So by the time they get a funder, or by the time they plan on taxing those 10 years, you're going to realize that our alternative would have actually worked better. And that is why I asked Team Affirmative to actually opt for our alternative, which is actually better and quicker. That is when the applicability denied. That's when the applicability, the workability, and the effectiveness comes in. So you're going to realize that actually in our case, that what the alternative we are giving you is actually applicable compared to the suggestion to nationalizing, because at the end of the day, nationalizing is not just you wake up in the morning and you nationalize. Denied. It's not going to you wake up in the morning and nationalize. No, you have to go through procedures. You have to sit down and for a work plan, which they have given us in 10 years. And you realize that in 10 years, that is really not going to be applicable, because by the time you're sitting down to plan and buy companies and everything, a lot of people are moving on, people have businesses to handle, and you're planning, maybe you put these companies on hold because you want to come and buy them. A lot is going to happen, they're going to be missing out on money. How about you just opt for our alternative, just bring in strict rules to, so that they can, cater for the affordability and everything, because at the end of the day, we are all aiming forward for promoting energy security. But you're going to realize that actually in our case, there is more energy security. We are promoting more energy security compared to the team negators. We have showed you the advantages of privatizing, which are resources are effectively used, facilities. It facilitates healthy competition. About the issue of competition, we come and present to them here in our case where there is actually healthy competition. I am going to come and hike a price of oil, and somebody else, and then somebody else is going to want customers. They're going to come and lower their price. Before you know it, they have customers. So at the end of the day, you have no option but also lower your price so that you can get the customers. And that is going to promote equal prices. So there will be no high pricing. Unlike in their case where the government is going to be the only people owning all these companies. So they have the right to do it, so they can hike the prices, or they can put prices which you have no competitor. Like they have no competitor. So people do not know actually if these prices are actually high or low. So they have no option but to just what? To just buy. And that's, then I'm going to also be weighing this debate on issues of the magnitude, which is the positive impact and the negative impact. So you're going to realize that actually on team negators, there's a very positive, there is a positive impact. We are going to first present you, I'm going to first give you countries which are USA and Russia. USA and Russia are actually the greatest companies, and they're also very good. The best are also what the leading companies in oil and gas.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.